Hello, I'm Thomas, and this is the KAANP, the Knoxville Area Artists Networking Platform. And here we talk to artists about themselves, the art they make, and where they make it, kinda. So yeah, stick around, give us a listen. Enjoy the show. Hello. Man, I'm happy to be here and have this conversation. My friend, will you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Derek Rucker, and I've known Thomas for quite a while, so this could be a good conversation.
I'm excited. So, dude, what's it like for you being a creative person in Knoxville right now?
Well, of course, with COVID going on, everything's gotten kind of strange, but I feel like everybody's getting real itchy, wanting to get out and see things, do things, buy things, watch things.
Return to some degree of normalcy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and do it with people. So hopefully soon we can get back to art shows, displays, stuff like that.
I'm very much looking forward to art shows again. I've got some on the horizon, so I can't complain too much about that. But I'm not complaining one bit about people wanting to get out and spend their money. So I'll put my stuff out there.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, anybody wants to buy it. I mean,
right?
If it's green.
It seems like people are in breweries again and doing some more generalized socializing, I guess, if that's a term we can use.
Yeah.
So I'll put stuff in front of their face. It's fine.
Yeah, that's something I've got to do more is reach out to places like that, smaller places, because it seems like here it's a little difficult to get in the door at some of the regular art venues.
Yeah, it's the more institutionalized ones are kind of picky.
Yeah, kind of a who's club, I guess,
Yeah.
But I understand, if it's your thing, you get to do what you want with it.
Yeah,
Right.
They have their motifs, and it's because people work hard to make it that way.
Yeah.
So go them. So what kind of expressions do you partake in? What mediums do you use? All that good stuff.
So starting out, I was more of just a pencil artist, I guess, doing the high school thing, not paying attention to school, drawing things that you probably shouldn't be drawing.
Big on a single page in your notebook.
But just trying to cover it up so the teacher doesn't see.
Yeah, you flip back and forth to your notes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You gotta keep up where the reading spot is because you don't want to get caught on it and then have to look like, oh God, where are we? But yeah, going from that to kind of progressing into the Sharpie arts, just kind of more of using a black to void out something and then go back with Sharpies and color it back in is what it started out as, and then it molded into me doing things basically from dreams, seeing images and then remembering, because a dream is a long form kind of film, you're just remembering a snapshot and then recreating that as some kind of art. And that went from Sharpies to little sculptings from Super Sculpt-E into acrylic paintings, and then using oil paintings as well, or oil paints.
So you've been all over the map, kind of.
Yeah, it's a long progression, I guess. A long time.
So how long is that long time?
Probably 25 years.
So most of your life, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
When was the first time you remember arting?
Me and a buddy of mine in third grade made up a comic book series. I think it had 25 episodes when we were done. Or,
Issues.
Issues, there you go. Yeah. But it was called Doofus. It was a guy that was just extremely stupid. And he would do things like skateboard over vats of alligators or, saw blades or something and get cut in half. And it was just a pencil that we would use, but then go back with red pencil to make red pen to make it look like he's bleeding and stuff. So, if any teacher had saw it, probably in third grade, they would have pulled this aside and been like, what is wrong with you all?
This kid needs help.
Yeah.
Can we
But it was just us being stupid,
like if they didn't get it, then they would think there is something wrong.
Oh, yeah.
If they didn't find the humor.
Miss Chambers would have definitely been like, this kid needs therapy.
Where's the guidance counselor?
Probably a little Jesus. Like, there's something wrong with this kid.
Is he sleeping enough? Does he get enough sleep at home? It's a valid question. You know it.
Yeah.
Miss Chambers might ask that.
Yeah, she could. She did care.
Well, that's awesome. So, did you ever have any formal artistic educational experiences?
I had a middle school class that we did. I feel like the only thing I remember from that is grid painting, where you make the grid out and sketch it in the small details, and then paint it. I don't do that now, so I don't feel like I had any formal education when it goes to art. No.
So, all self-taught and a little bit of Bob Ross?
Oh, a lot of Bob Ross. Yes. Every good artist should have a little Bob Ross. So, yeah.
I'm here for that. Yeah, I think so too. Happy little trees go a long way.
Mm-hmm. And that stuff is just good. It's good motivation when you're painting, whether or not you're watching it or not. It's just, oh, yeah, I like that. That's nice. And you're like, yeah, that is nice, isn't it? Thanks.
It's just good to have that positive chatter in the background, at the very least.
Like your granddad cheering you on back there.
Slow claps.
You got this. Come on.
So, where do you say you draw some of your inspiration from these days?
I had one painting come from a dream about COVID. So, I guess they're still coming from dreams. But there's a lot of them I'm just exploring different techniques that I picked up from Bob Ross or from different, what is his name? Michael James Smith. That's a guy on YouTube. And, some of his videos, he does, I think, exclusively oil paintings, in landscape, like trying to do extremely realistic stuff. So, it's not up my alley what he's doing, translating, I'm going to do this 1-to-1. But, picking up how he layers some things and how he thinks about it is, it's very helpful. It's
good to get an insight into somebody else's process.
Mm-hmm. So just kind of piecing together different, I guess I would just say different techniques from different artists, and just trying not to steal things when mimicking, I guess.
What's that called? Appropriation, right? I think that's the word.
Isn't that a dirty word? I don't know.
Yes, okay. Appropriation's the dirtiest word. Are there any specific places you like to draw inspiration from? Do you have any preferences to what you expose yourself to? Are there any things that really come out in your work from your influences?
One thing that's very prominent in my artwork is eyeballs, just the eye in general, but I don't think that comes from any certain influence of artist.
That's just a subject matter you really enjoy.
Yeah, I guess it was easy to draw, I guess, as a kid, because you're just like, it's just like a
couple of circles,
sharp oval with a circle, and then you look deeper as you get older, and you're like, there's a little more than just these 4 lines, or But beyond that, I like seeing. I feel like my art reflects liking some of the pop art era, and then just whatever I can do with acrylic.
And you've done some pretty not normal stuff with it.
Yeah, I would have to say.
And it looks awesome.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I was not, I guess in some sense, I was kind of surprised that the one that Tanya bought, that it went, and I was just like, oh, you're interested in that one. Okay, that's okay. Like, there were 3 or 4 other ones. I was like, those will be gone before anybody ever, so tell me about this one. Nope, immediately gone. Like, okay.
I told her she's going to have some funky art in her house, so I guess she followed through.
Starting the right place.
Yeah. How? In what way have you changed the eyeballs over the years? As an overarching theme, has it shifted meanings? Has it become a pretty dynamic symbol in your work?
I don't know that I can answer that. I don't know that I see the change. You know what I mean? I know it's changed.
It's still something super cool, and that's good enough.
Yeah, it's still something that no matter how much more detail I see, I can just keep trying to make it closer to that. And I find it weird that I'm not like that about any other part of the human body. It's not like, I want to draw hands or something. It's just eyeballs, just eyes.
Well, they are one of the coolest parts of the human body, so I can't really blame you there.
Yeah, they tell you a lot.
And they're incredibly difficult to draw. And you can make it as hard as you want to.
I mean, if you watch some of the YouTube videos, it's not hard at all. No, just do what they do.
5-minute experts, YouTube certified.
Yeah. You can do this with a number 2 pencil. Here you go.
Yeah. Don't worry. You can get all these colors from the number 2 pencil. So what are the different ways you've used acrylic mediums in the past? Because I know what you've done, and it's been pretty wild, but I don't know half how you did it. So,
I got into wanting the painting to not just sit on the paint, on the canvas. So roaming Jerry's, finding some of the what's on this bottom shelf.
As one does.
Yeah. What is this bottom shelf stuff? What is this rough stuff? You buy a few of those and you glue them onto your canvas, and you go, oh, that's what they do. But just trying to make textures, especially with the one that sold, Team Aremia, it was almost trying to make a texture you didn't want to touch. Like, I don't know how to explain it any more than that. It was just a texture that just didn't seem like if you walked into a room and just saw that as the wall, you would not touch it. You just like, no, I'm not supposed to touch that.
So you wanted it to look very unappealing.
Yes. Touch wise, maybe visually it looks really like, oh, that pattern that it makes, it looks really cool, but
otherwise.
Thank you. No thanks.
And how did you create that effect?
I think it was with a clay sculpting tool that I had left over from the Sculpey. I just would keep it vertical and kind of chop through a really thick layer of, I think it was it was the heavy gloss medium. So when it would make a little ridge, and then when you did pull it out of the medium, it would leave little strings and finger looking pieces that, I don't know, to me looked like I wouldn't want to touch them. So if I didn't know what it was, that and a palette knife. I mean, that's about it.
There you go. Glass beads. Seen you use those.
Yes, those are a texture staple. The ability to get that like translucent look, but it still is tinted a little bit with the color is pretty nice because it looks. I'm gonna say you can make it look vomit-ish. Very icky, but at the same time, I feel like I have used it on something and made it look very nice. The one that's like the dragon coming through the warp holes, the weird shaped piece. I mean, I've used it. I think it was an under layer on that, and a cut in maybe green or something. But it pops really nicely.
Have you used any other like wacky materials? Because I feel like there's one more that I'm forgetting about.
The coarse mediums, I use those. The heavy gloss gel. I can't remember what it's called. There's one that's got like glass shards in it. It's like, I can't remember what it's called. I mean, it's literally like just little translucent pieces of glass that are kind of square-ish. And it's almost like the glass beads thing that's just not...
It's just square.
Yeah, it's square, but it almost... The depth isn't as... With the glass beads, when you go and spread it with a palette knife, it will drag some of the beads and screw up.
Yeah.
Like, it'll streak it. These kind of just lay out. They'll kind of lay out behind each other, or just layer over each other instead of just dragging. And like, I'm coming for the ride. So you can get, I guess you can get better coverage kind of with it. But I used that on that same one I was talking about, the dragon with the, going through the warp holes, but it's just clear. I just left it clear, and you can see right through it and see all the colors underneath it, and kind of served it as a skin or a body to that thing.
Nice. I've never played with any of those things.
You should.
I suppose I need to. Have you tried micaceous iron oxide?
I have not. I haven't looked at
any
of those, or used any of those. I've looked at them, but not.
Golden acrylics has a good one with a transparent base and all the iron shavings.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to try that stuff.
I use it in like backgrounds of my spacey pieces a lot to give it like that weird far off shimmery effect, because if you look at it under sunlight, you can definitely see it.
Giving that iridescence.
Yeah.
I really like that one you had that was offset. Knowing that almost all of yours are centered, and then that one was offset, it's like, yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
You didn't like it? You didn't like it at all?
I like the piece for sure, because it was a really, like, I did several things that I don't normally do, because I did the marbling, this new Montana, like transparent UV reactive, like purple spray, and then did the off-center one. I don't remember what made me want to do it, but the next piece is going to have 2 of them. So you're welcome. It's been in my head for a couple of days. Yeah, go you.
Yeah, I hope it's not too much trouble for you.
I will find out. I just put the base coat on the canvas yesterday. It's dry now. It's waiting to be molested. Yeah, I hope I don't fuck it up. It'll be fun.
There is no fucking it up.
Well, if I have to paint over the whole thing, that's a different story then. But yeah, no, there was legitimate few things there I'd never really, like, are not normally a part of my style. So it was fun to really, like, just bend how I do things, turn it inside out. And then there's the other piece with the crazy background and the black pinstripe stuff. Those two were sort of like, how about, the what ifs?
Yeah.
And they turned out okay. I'm not going to fuss about them. I'd like to sell them as a pair because they kind of fit in their own wacky way as they stand out from most of my stuff.
Yep. The 2 oddballs.
Yeah, I know. So I just had this wild hair up my ass about doing things a little different for a couple pieces. And then this big ass piece with 2 off-center circles coming is going to be, I guess, the fruits of those labors. So a little bit of practice.
Very nice.
I guess. Practice. So
that's the thing. I mean, even if you end up painting over something like that, I mean, it is good practice because, like you said, there's things you're not done or you don't normally do, so that expands a little bit and just gives you more control. And maybe you mess up, it's like, oh, okay, well, I know I can do this, and rein it back in.
When I mess up, it really forces my hand to do it a second time on the other side because if I'm trying to do something anyway symmetrical, if I fuck up, I got to do it again.
Yep.
So it better at least look intentional. It's one of the weird things about it.
I think that's one of the reasons why you don't find matching eyes in my artwork.
because then you got to do it a second time.
Oh, that symmetry thing kills me. Yeah, my brain is not made for flipping images. No,
I guess I've made myself do it a lot, so for some degree I guess I'm okay at it. Nothing too crazy, but I can handle it. I kind of have to at work sometimes, and I do it to myself for fun, I guess.
Yeah, that's stretching the old elastic memory band.
Yeah, it pushes my brain every so often. I still need to figure out a canvas that spins so I don't have to pick the shit up and turn it. I've got to work on that. That one's been in the back of my head for a while.
Yeah, I don't know. The only thing been floating in my head like that is a break for that off-road thing.
I'll figure it out one day. So, man, can you explain to me or illustrate to me some bit of your creative process?
A lot of times it's spur of the moment. It won't be like, I'm allotted 2 hours for me to sit down and paint. It's just like, I'm tired. I don't want to go to sleep. Let's paint. I don't really have a setup, so to say. I have an office in there, but I paint in here in the living room. I paint, in the floor in there. I'm on the desk sometimes.
Yeah.
I've got these 2 tables that I set up in here sometime, and there's not really a routine or any regularity to it, I guess. But do you mean more of if laying out the paintings, or
how you think through them, and then how you craft your mediums to accommodate such? Do you just get a random idea and throw it down on the canvas as it comes to you, or do you have an idea you've played around with and fleshed out and got a good image for it in your head, and then you put it down, or do you just have this blank canvas in front of you and do stuff to it, and whatever happens?
That depends. I feel like the first 2 are more of what it is, but that highly depends on what I've seen or what the dream was, or how detailed the image was. Because if I'm sitting down going to have to figure out what technique I have to use to paint whatever I saw, then it's going to take way more time. It's going to sit in my head for weeks and just fester.
So you hit both of those extremes.
Yes. And then there's times when it just happens, and
you look up and it's been 3 hours.
Spill all the paint and you move it and there's a painting. Okay, well,
Clock yourself. That was quick. Time.
It was a 100-meter race. Good grief. I feel like that bird painting was like that. It was, which it's not that difficult. It's, kind of monotone. I just painted it in black and white and then went back over it with the oil paint. It was black and white acrylic and then went back over it with the oil paint like a glaze. But that was from one of the Sharpie drawings that I did from Dreams back in like high school. So
didn't you say you were painting some stuff out of a notebook or something you had?
Yeah, it's an old
dream journal or something.
Yeah, it's an old just drawing journal of old dreams, the ones that I could remember and really had a memorable picture to them, I guess, or a memorable scene.
So is this one of the things you just woke up in the middle of the night and scribbled it down, or you just casually kept this journal?
It's one of those weird things I started doing. I don't know if everybody went through this as like a 20-year-old, but you have that like existential like, oh man, I could die soon. Like, I got to leave something to my brother. I got to leave something to my, and you start doing that. Like, I'm going to leave him all these drawings and he's just going to know so much about me, and then you look back through it and you're like,
what's this say?
What the? I don't even know about me. What is this?
The hell?
But yeah, that's definitely what that was. It was just, oh man, I gotta leave him something to remember me by. We don't hang out a whole lot.
Mortality was making you feel awful sentimental, wasn't it?
And then it just steamrolled from there. I just kept making them, kept drawing in it, and I don't think the book is actually full, but I still every now and then I'll flip through it and be like, yep, that's going to become a painting. All right, here we go. None of them have been as fast as the bird, though. That was like, all right, yeah, that looks good. All right.
Ship it.
Yeah. It's done.
Yeah.
Leave it clear coated. That's done.
So how long did that one take you? If that one's a quick one compared to everything else.
That one was kind of cheating because it was a pre-prepared, what do they call it, gesso board.
Yeah.
Like it was one of the deep gesso boards. So, I mean, at most 2 hours. But I mean, that oil paint takes 2 weeks to dry. No matter how thin I lay it on, it just takes forever. Especially with that linseed oil, it just, I don't know, it just wants to stay around forever. Just moist.
That definitely is a thing that turns me off about oil paints. I'm not gonna lie.
It's.
Let me just have a drying rack in my backyard.
And I don't. I can watch people that do it and do it with techniques where they can make it dry in an hour. And then I try it. And here we sit 3 weeks later, like even longer than when I just mix it with, have a thin layer of linseed oil and lay it on like Bob Ross. Like, and I don't understand how they do it. And I guess that's why they sell their paintings.
That's why they make the big bucks.
Yeah. $100,000, I'm over here painting the masters. Like, damn, okay. Like, they ask you to paint the golf course? That's crazy.
Lots of green.
Yeah. Lots.
Really short green.
Lots. Need those texture brushes for that stuff.
Oh, man. All those blades of grass. Sounds like a task.
A chore, maybe.
Definitely.
Would you rather cut the grass or have to paint the grass?
I think cutting one individual blade of grass would be a lot faster than painting one individual blade of grass. That's how I feel about it. I might just rather mow.
You have a point, yeah.
I think I'm just going to have to rest with that. It's okay. That's the logical end of that one for me.
Womp womp.
Oh. But are there any common themes other than the eyeballs in your work?
There always seems to be a dweller, some kind of, I don't want to say beast.
Presence.
I don't want to say burden either. It's like you could say presence, but I feel like that's too light.
Too light?
Like burden is too heavy and presence is too light.
Oh, so there's somewhere
something there
in between with just bad connotations.
Yeah. And I mean, and that's not in all of them, but there is a recurring dweller that lurks about, I guess. Like Soothsayer, the eyeball thing. It always, which I don't know if you've seen that one in the book.
Probably not.
It was kind of an inspiration for Eingander, the big eye I've got in there, but it's just a Sharpie drawing of kind of a weird blue face person, but from that same kind of perspective, you're just right up on their eye. I don't remember.
Common themes.
Oh, yeah.
Other than eyeballs.
Other than eyeballs, yeah. oops, started trickling back into the eyeballs. So I guess in some sense, Ian Gander is like a monster. I mean, he's peering at you for as close as he can get to you. Just like the soothsayer is. I mean, they're right up on you. So I don't know. It sitting here thinking about it, it kind of reminds me of like Egyptian statues where they had those extremely elongated and huge eyes that we're always watching you. But yeah, I don't. Beyond that, I don't know if there's any kind of theme per se. I'm not like a Hieronymus Bosch or anything where it all kind of ties in to represent my
some part of your psyche
or something. Yeah, no.
Do you have any like sweet spots for the things you create? Are there any things you just like painting for, the hell of it? Things you do with your expression that are just for like your own pure selfish fun? Or is it all...
We didn't really mention it, but I do sew and stuff too. So, I mean, a lot of the clothes and stuff that I make from that, it's all for me. I think I've sold one hat or two hats. Sold one to Cornbread and one to another lady.
I think I saw that hat. That was a pretty sweet hat.
It's nice. Yeah, I can't lie. Like when I finished it, I was kind of like, all right, well, I got to stitch my name on this.
Yeah, so let's talk about the clothes for a minute, because we just talk about painting right now and visual arts, but you play music and make clothes and
all over the map.
Do lots of other things. So what about them clothes? Tell me about them threads.
Threads. I guess the past couple of months, I really haven't been into it as much, but there are plans. But I make waistcoats. I've got a shirt pattern in there, like long sleeve shirts. I guess wearing what I make. I mean, I like making what I want and wearing what I want.
Yeah.
And it's freeing, I guess, in some sense, if you can find the right fabrics and stuff.
And the tangibility of it's really nice too,
it
right?
Is.
Like,
it really is.
Here's this thing, it's done now. I'm gonna throw it on my back. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go about my way.
Yeah, and when somebody goes, "Oh, that's really nice," I'm like, "Yeah, I made that." I'm like, oh, really? And I'm like, I'd like one of those. Would you? Yeah, but as of right now, it's just been a me thing. Just I like accoutrements, so I like wallets, scarves, kerchiefs.
Haven't you made a vest?
Cravat. Oh yeah, I've made two vests. One kind of like African hanging shirt. It's not like the dashiki, but it's close. It's not. It was my first piece, so it's very, very not. It's not perfectly set for the human form. Let's put it that way. So it drapes kind of weird in certain places. But you can still wear it.
Is it comfortable?
It's very thin, so I mean,
there you go.
Yeah.
When?
Yeah. It'd be great for one of those summer days out of Wes's. Yeah.
Oh, well, great. Yeah. If you haven't worn it there yet, I guess you're missing out.
No, I haven't.
You gonna say that and not have done it?
No.
Shame.
It's waiting for the right person, I think, to come snatch it up.
How soon you wear it? If it's comfy and you made it, come on now.
True.
But I mean, of course, it's available.
Call me now.
So what about do you look up patterns, or do you measure your own patterns? What do you do?
So mostly I have a book that I've gotten like the waistcoat patterns and stuff out of, but I take and try and modify those as much as possible so they can't be like, if I sell them, that they're like, oh, you got it from us. And it's like, okay, yeah, try and improve it, because mine has plenty of different features yours don't have. I don't like clasps and stuff behind you on the waistcoats.
Oh, hell no.
I don't like metal behind me. I mean, who likes leaning back and having metal jabbing into your spine? So, like, I took an idea from, like, I guess they're kimonos, like Japanese kimonos, where they would tie, I think it's I don't want to say the name wrong. I think it's a sari, but it's their belt, a very long belt, and then they take and tie it in these elaborate bows, and each bow has different meanings and different status, but I just kind of took that idea and made the straps longer and just made it into a bow behind you. Nothing too thick. It's just ribbon, but
right.
So you lean back and there's like a tiny little knot instead of this giant metal thing jabbing into your back.
Right. So that's
To
comfortable.
me, it's more practical, but don't know if anybody else would, think, oh, yeah, that's good. I don't know.
But that's how you wanted it, so that's how you made it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's the cool part about it. Mm-hmm. So are there any garments you have high on your list of need to make?
Right now, a disc golf bag.
A disc golf bag?
I know it sounds silly.
I'm here for it.
I refuse to give them $100 for a decent disc.
I just want to say you damn hippie.
I just want to carry the three. I carry 3 discs at most. Okay, like I don't need a 72 disc bag. Like I'm not that person. So a small little.
You can make yourself a hip pouch for your discs. That would be great.
Essentially, yeah, that sounds.
You could have them at the ready like a duelist with his pistols.
Walk around the Coliseum like that.
Yeah. Stop, or I'll hit you with this disc.
I can throw this 300 feet, sir. You better stop.
It'll hurt, I swear.
It's never killed a man, but don't test it.
So do you have any idea what patterns or materials or workflow you'd have for that kind of thing?
I actually have the pattern already. I made it the other night at work. I just mapped out the shape of the disc and then doubled that length so you have a flap. That's all I'm worried about, that and a strap. Throw it over you. I'll do the flap, grab a disc, throw it, close the flap.
Perfect. Simple. Yeah. Utilitarian.
Yep. I've gotten into watching the PDGA because they've started doing very professional broadcasts, I guess, of their tournaments and stuff. The top lead card or something. But it just kills me seeing them carrying like suitcases full of frisbees. And I'm just like,
gotta have the selection, man.
Oh yeah. You need 300 frisbees, because Tiger Woods carries like 7 bags of golf clubs, with him.
Maybe it's just a flex.
I guess so. Yeah.
Are they carrying it?
But if
or do they have a caddy?
No, I saw one guy that did have a caddy, but most of them they have like a luggage thing. It's got wheels on it, and they just pull it behind them. But I mean, if you know what each one of those does, I could see there's probably a situation for each one of them.
Yeah, there's a good excuse to have all those, I'm sure. But I would love to see everybody list their justifications.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the reason why, artists will buy a whole bunch of different colors instead of just buying red, the primaries.
Yeah.
And running with it, I'll mix all my colors.
I can't leave Jerry's without buying at least like one long, skinny watercolor brush. It just doesn't happen. This is $6. It's a $6 brush. You coming with me?
They just hand it to you on the way out the door. You forgot this. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, exactly. Put it on my account. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Every time I go into Jerry's, at least one watercolor brush. It just doesn't happen.
I feel like that's Posca pens for me. I end up getting a black or something. I've run out of something by that point. And, especially after doing this lampshade, I'm sure I'll almost be out of black. I started painting that lampshade.
Oh, the old lamp.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for this project.
Yeah. I'll have to show you the base in there. It's bright. Extremely bright.
Amazing.
Light's not that bright, but the lamp is bright.
Yeah, well, that's fixable. It can be brighter.
Yeah. Yeah, you just had to swap that light bulb out.
I'm glad you rescued it from what would be an untimely demise.
I mean, it's perfect condition, man. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all.
No.
I don't want to harp. I was just going to say, they do that a lot, like throwing away really good stuff, which I can't complain about because I end up just being like, okay.
Well, that's not a thing you're going to send to
swamp.
That's not a thing you're going to send to the public auction house either.
No.
Desk lamp.
No.
Bid started at $5.
33 cents.
Yeah. GovDeals.com does not sponsor this show.
No. I mean, you can't really give away lamps either. It's like,
hey, you want a lamp? No, not really. I've got 3.
Maybe a floor lamp, but like just a table lamp. Most people's horizontal space is covered. they don't have any room for a lamp.
I have a desk lamp, but you know what? It's not on my desk. It's on my shelving unit to the left of my desk from a higher position than my tabletop.
Light still hits the desk, though.
Oh, so buddy.
That means it's a
we
desk
got
lamp.
Good coverage, but it's not on my desk.
Mine is. So
So, what kind of sewing machine do you use? Can we talk about your sewing hardware?
It is a Brother baseline. I don't even know. It is bare minimum.
But it works.
Oh yeah, it works nice. It was refurbished, so can't complain on that. And either I've not had any problems out of it. So kudos to Brother for
selling a perfectly
nice
functioning refurbished
machine. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with it to begin with, but it's good now. Thanks, guys.
Well, there you go. You use any crazy materials or flashy things? Anything kind of wild?
Not really. I don't have a lot of crazy fabrics. I mean, I've been making a lot of the accoutrements and hats and stuff out of upholstery fabric. Nice little place in town on Broadway that's got a bunch of upholstery fabric, pretty cheap. And I think they do have some regular fabric, but it's not anything I'm
are willing to wear.
Wild for, yeah. I feel like it may be like a TJ Maxx situation where they just get, oh, we don't want this. Do you want to sell it? And they sell it. It's just like, okay, well, somebody will want it. Just not particularly me.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really have any special equipment, no special threads or anything. Having sewed before, when I did get the sewing machine when COVID first started, just getting back into it, trying to figure out what I was doing again and remembering not to be stupid about seam allowance. And, you can screw up something so bad by not keeping your seam allowances right. Yeah. Throwing away like $30 worth of fabric. You don't do it right. Yeah.
I feel that way about when I rip a couple yards of vinyl off a car. It's just like, oh, hey. Every time. Makes you cringe just a hair.
It has to.
Mm-hmm.
So, how often do you all have to replace a vinyl?
It depends on the application, but
I didn't know if there was a hard line, okay, you have this on for 6 months, we're going to have to replace it.
That depends on the material too. So
okay.
Use case is important to determine that, and environmental factors and what orientation it's going to be, like if it's vertical or horizontal.
Okay.
So all those factors play into that, but could be 6 months, could be 3 years. Either way, it swings.
Gotcha. I just didn't really know. So, if you put one in a building, would it have a shelf life too?
Yeah, I mean they eventually, well, not the
start bubbling. Maybe
the adhesive usually goes up last, unless there's some weird environmental factor going on. But generally, the vinyl will get dehydrated and crack before the adhesive will give up.
Yeah, I should have thought about that. I've seen plenty of Cadillac roofs.
Yeah. Dude, vinyl roofs on new cars, I just don't understand. It's not a thing that should happen anymore. No. Honestly, anytime I see a car with a carpeted dash, too, I'm just like, why?
Honestly, I'm in that boat of they should only sell convertibles in very small, limited batches in certain parts of the country, because who in Tennessee needs a convert? It's just
dude, what are you talking about?
When you get into the winter, that thing is just getting destroyed.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not great.
Yeah,
but the 10 months out of the year you can use that, solid.
I got 4 windows, man. It works.
True, but you don't want your wind in the hair, do you?
Huh?
You don't want your hair in the wind, do you?
Yeah. I don't mind it. I mean, just.
Well, who was the last time you rode in a convertible, Mr. Unbiased against convertibles?
My grandmother had a Sebring convertible.
Hey.
Yeah, the lap of luxury.
Don't feel bad. I think the last convertible I was in was a 2005 Sebring. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just one of those peeve things.
Buddy, I like them.
Oh, hey. Whoa.
I say if it's over 60 degrees, you ought to have your top down. Not mandatory, but that's my personal limit. It's definitely not mandatory. But if I had a convertible, I hate when I see it's a nice sunny day and I see people with convertibles just out and about with their tops up. It frustrates me.
Understandable, but I don't want to get my hair.
It's either that or they're on the phone. Those are the two logical exclusives.
I didn't even think about that.
Nah, it still upsets me.
I could imagine it.
You're driving, don't pick up the phone. Enjoy the wind in your hair, you asshole. How dare you? pay for this luxury and not partake.
Just drive down the road, not even looking at the road. Just
Here I am.
swinging your hair.
Here I am with my sunroof all the way open. Still not convertible.
Thomas is sitting on a phone book, so his head's sticking just a little bit out of the sunroof. Just a little bit.
I don't have to extend my pedals, though.
It's a convertible. No, you don't.
It's like when I flip down my visor, I can't see anything.
Anything.
Not even the car in front of me. And that's when just my little bit of hair is like trailing back, and it looks like one of those little sport antennas. Just, yep. So, man, other than painting and sewing, what do you do with music?
Started out doing, just jamming. Didn't know what was going on. Just treading water, being around really good musicians, and failing miserably as it felt. It was a really weird series of events, I guess, because it's just starting and then ending up in a place where two multi-time Grammy-winning artists are at, like, here, play with us. And it's like, guys, I just started. I don't know what I'm doing. Like, no, just play. Okay. Like,
yeah, you got me.
Then I don't know that without something like that I would have kept playing. I would have kept on going. I enjoy the jamming, but at the same time, I feel like what I get more out of music is trying to make my own thing.
Surprise!
Like with the art, just like with the paintings and stuff. I wouldn't mind to play music with other people, and I'm not against molding some of my stuff to fit their stuff, or us writing with their stuff too. It's one of those. It's not one of those things like we got to play my stuff. I'm the only one who writes in this band. No, that's not it at all. I just get more fulfillment out of sitting down and writing something than I do from sitting down and jamming for 3 or 4 hours. And not to say I didn't used to do that. I used to really like doing that. I just don't think that's where I'm at anymore. I still enjoy, the small jam sessions we have with Wes or with Danny or any of those guys. But yeah, I like taking songs and if I didn't write them, making them weird, or taking the stuff that I wrote and trying to figure out if I could play it or not.
Do you often write music that your fingers can't play?
Not anymore. That was a real big problem when I first started out because I jumped into the knowledge part of music way faster than my fingers were playing what I was learning. So there would be things I would write out on paper, and I could hear them in my head because I knew what I was writing out on the paper, but then my fingers would
just not
Eeyore behind me, like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. So recently, just because of the whole job change and everything, having some time open up, I've been able to go back through. I've got a file cabinet full of probably, on the low end, probably 1,000 pages worth of just shit.
On the low end.
On the low end, yeah. I mean, it's just packed full of papers, and I've thrown away probably a third of them in the past little bit, just noticing that I have doubled and tripled and quadrupled some pages, like not even realizing it. Just, oh yeah, I don't have that, and then write it out. And but that is it. I've been unearthing a bunch of stuff that I would write down back then and definitely could not play, and then pulling it out now and trying to play it, and it's like, okay, it's really hard now. I couldn't imagine what I was trying to do back then. So a lot of those ideas don't work out, but
the ones that do are pretty cool.
Some of them do, or some of them lead to a different idea or something. So.
Do you ever look back and be like, what the hell was I thinking? Like what? Like how did this come out of me?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of the things I have expanded on and made full songs out of today were some of the first things that I started working on when I started playing. It was like exercises and stuff that I started playing back then that ended up molding into like guitar riffs or whatever you want to call them, sections of songs.
So what instruments do you play?
Well, the jug. And I play 6-string instruments, so guitar. I've got a banjo-guitar that's 6 string. It's pretty much a guitar, but just with a banjo ass. all the banjo sound, all the guitar
Yeah.
theory. I've got a bass. I haven't really played a lot of bass, but I do play bass. I have a pocket flute, but I don't know that I would say I play that. It's I know what notes are there, but I don't practice enough to say that I play that thing. But also on a kalimba that I play a little bit. I play a little piano, but I don't have a piano. I have a keyboard, but it's not.
So is it one of those things you just grab any one of these instruments and go and see what happens, or do you like intentionally spend time with one over the other?
Oh, 99% of the time is with the guitar, with one of the stringed based guitar banjo guitar.
Guitar-like things.
Yes, those things. That's where I've applied all the theory knowledge and any of the theory knowledge that I know. So I mean, it just me looking at the theory on a guitar, I feel more like a high schooler in what I know, and then when I look at like the piano with music theory, I feel like an elementary schooler. Like clang, 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 clang. Like I can play some things, but it's just
what do I do with my hands?
Clunky. It's extremely clunky, and I'm thinking the whole time, so it's stressful. Which I guess is good.
Yeah, because you're concentrating.
Things. Yeah. Who wants to concentrate? It's for orange juice.
Yep. Do you find in your creative process like a flow state at any given time? Like, do you ever get so involved in it?
Absolutely. Yeah. COVID really helped with that. I mean, having the time, being laid off, having the time to just, I don't have to be anywhere until Thursday, 3 weeks from now. Okay. I guess I'm going to do this until I pass out or get really hungry.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel like that comes along with me not having distractions in the form of, a lot of times the flow state doesn't come with music, put it that way. It doesn't necessarily have to be silent or anything like that. I will think more about the music, being a musician, than what I'm doing, so I'm always torn in two. If I'm doing that.
You can't just sit back and enjoy it.
That's something I noticed when I was working at Tupelo, and we'd listen to music all day, and then I would go home stressed and be like, dude, I had a good day. Like, what was it? And then look back and go, I listened to music I didn't want to listen to all day.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, it's my brain going to like just the whole day, and I didn't even realize it. And I feel like it's the same thing. Like if I turn on most music before I'm doing some art, it's just me paying attention to that and bouncing back and forth. Oh yeah, I'm painting. Oh, what was that? Oh yeah, I'm painting. Oh wait. Oh yeah, I'm painting. Oh wait. Yeah.
So, do you normally paint in just straight silence, or just the normal, sounds of the neighborhood?
It will sound very ridiculous because of what I just said, but there's times when The Office will be playing when I'm painting, and somehow that's not the same thing. I mean, it's not music. It's dialogue that I've heard many times, so I feel like my brain tunes it out, and it just becomes part of the background noise.
Because music and The Office would be too much.
Oh, both? Yeah.
Yeah, way too much.
There's no way. No. Plus, that's blasphemy.
Is
it? Plays music during The Office. Like, you're there to listen to Michael Scott, okay? You're not there to listen to music and Michael Scott.
He would take offense to that.
He would.
He'll just have to. So some white noise in the background, and then just off to the races.
Yeah, I mean, that's not like a hard, fast rule. I mean, that's just, I feel like I've noticed that I'm more inclined to sit there for 3 or 4 hours without looking up or possibly even breathing. Yeah, I'm sure you've had those moments when you just look up and you're like...
It's like, yeah, when you pull the paintbrush off the canvas and you realize that you haven't taken a breath in like 20 seconds.
The whole time you've been...
Like a sniper between breaths. Let me get this line perfect.
Yep.
Yeah. I do that a lot because of my particular art style at the moment.
I'm sure when you're getting into the pinstriping and making lines and tiny dots, I'm sure. Yeah.
It can be a mess. There have been times, definitely recently on the past like dozen pieces or so, where I've just looked up and be like, wow, all right. So I'm hungry. I definitely have a headache because I'm dehydrated and I need to breathe. I really, really, really need to breathe.
I do exist, don't I?
Yeah. I'm not just
totally forgot.
I'm not just some intangible thing just running around all willy nilly. Like, no, I got to eat, drink water.
I have parameters.
Yeah, I'm going to be outside of my normal operating parameters if I don't like go piss and drink some water.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I'm in pain. I need to straighten this out. But that's a really good day for me, honestly. If I can wake up and wake up between 7 and 10 a.m. and, art for the next 4.5, 5 hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, crap. Oh, belly. I really need to go, service my person because I need food and water and, all this stuff. So it's just like, I am human. You're brutally reminded that you're in a meat popsicle.
Gonna get yourself a feeding tube and a catheter and just keep on kicking for 8-10 hours straight.
I don't need to do that because my ass will go into my chair. I don't.
It'd be a Wally situation.
Yeah.
Be eating cupcakes out of a cup in no time.
I ain't setting myself up that good. I need to be a little bit uncomfortable. Works better that way.
That is true. I feel like that's a real big thing too.
Yeah.
If you're in a big cushy chair and your painting's at the perfect height, you don't really have to move to get anything. I feel like it's. I don't know.
It's too good.
Yeah.
It's too convenient. It's too comfortable. It's too good. I try not to do the too good.
Yeah. You usually find me in the floor or something sprawled out. Terrible posture.
Laid out. Or curled up on the corner of the couch. Or sitting cross-legged out there on the deck. Just I really find myself walking around the house looking at a piece in different lighting and just hold it this way, hold it that way, take it out, shake it under the sun, and then I'll go sit back in my moderately uncomfortable office chair that somebody gave to me after they found it on the side of the road. That's a perfect story for my office chair too. It's because it's true. Yeah. So it's just that perfect level of still usable, but shouldn't be. So
understandable, yeah.
It makes a terrible squeaking noise. It needs it needs some grease.
Probably just a belt.
My chair needs a belt. You're right. Yeah, I should check his blinker fluid too.
Oh man, it's power steering, I'm sure.
It does make those kind of noises. I lean back in the chair. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. You can hear it all the way across the house.
Oh, the one that they put in they did buy a new one for the security office, and it's just so funny because I feel like all 5 of the wheels, whoever designed it, didn't take into account circles and the fact that these all need to move on the same plane.
Yeah.
But the way that they're attached, they're on the outside of the circle, so when you pull some of them, they don't all want to go that way. You know what I mean? They don't want to hinge that way so you can go that way. So there's 3 of them no, stop, and then the other 3 are no, come on, and it's terrible.
So you got to do a little swirl and then go the direction you want to go.
Up.
You just get up.
But you don't roll it.
Oh,
it doesn't roll. Mm-mm. And plus, with the pits in the floor, so there's 2 or 3 pits in the floor back there where they've chipped something out. It's just, no, you just get up.
I hate to hear that.
It's all right. I'll make it.
This is the worst I felt this whole conversation. That's terrible. They spent money on a new chair with all the good intent.
And it's just in that floor. I take it out in the lobby and roll it around on the tile. It's perfectly fine. It doesn't stop. It's just that slick concrete floor that the tires or the wheels just don't know what to do.
It ain't got enough friction. I guarantee it.
Yeah. It's just not pulling them that way or pushing them. And I don't know.
I had to push some scaffolds around on some AstroTurf this week. Fun times. But that's a different conversation.
Was that the gym?
Yeah, that was a Lenore City High School gig.
That was nice.
Yeah. That was very sweaty, hot work.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. That heat guns, 20 feet in the air in a gym like that. It was, when you work hard and you come home and you're like, oh, I smell like ass. That was Monday. That was Monday. I need a shower.
That was every day at UPS.
I believe it.
Smell like ass and box. That's it.
Cardboard.
Just box. Oh man.
So what is a good day to be creative look like for you? You wake up and then just fall into your scheme for the day.
Yeah, I mean, before the night shifts, I was an early riser anyways, so I had a lot of time, probably from 5 to, I don't know, 10, 11, somewhere in that range where it was just me hanging out, everybody else asleep. So that would give me, plenty of time and silence, and it's not that part of the day where you're sweating no matter what.
Yeah.
In the shade, it could be, you're in the air conditioning, you're still sweating. It's like we were talking about before, it's a little easier to slip into the flow, I guess, because you're somewhat comfortable. You're comfortable enough.
Yeah, there's that fine line.
To get going, and then you get it going, and then everything else, the other distractions just go away. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, an ideal day would be grabbing some food and then starting back after that. But that doesn't usually happen. You usually need other things to be done. Adulting.
Yeah. It's funny how society pulls you in a bunch of different directions.
Yeah, it's always great.
If I can sit down in the morning and do art things until I'm like physically uncomfortable, like hungry, thirsty, whatever, I've put in work for the day because I know I've lost myself in whatever I was doing enough to ignore such things until they became painfully apparent.
Right, yeah.
In some small way.
You've done your meditation for the day.
Yeah, like now I can go about society and be a sane human being that's not going to murder anybody. It's like when office people get their coffee, they're just like, oh yeah, you can talk to me now. Like that's kind of like that.
Waiters and their cigarettes.
Yeah.
Or that early morning, like, I haven't had my cigarette yet. Oh, whoa.
Oh, buddy, please go have it.
Please do. I've already had a cup of coffee. I'm ready to go.
You feeling froggy?
It's 10:30, bud.
Let's get it. I mean, I don't often go back into it after a meal because I sort of wait till the sun goes down after that. Because I try to do other stuff, whatever it be. You're like run errands, go to the grocery store, all that shit. Yeah. See people, socialize. And, once I get home, I'm just like, all right, let me settle back into this and see what happens.
Not fully go hermit. I get you.
Yeah. I mean, I try not to, but I don't have a problem with it. I've done it.
I do it a lot. Yeah, hermitish. I just don't have a shell.
I really did try to read this book about hermetic principles, and it's one of the driest books I've ever read. And I don't know why I expected it to be mildly more entertaining than stone dry desert rock baked in sun.
I don't know who could write an enthralling
book about being a hermit.
Hermetic principles. Yeah, I mean,
to some degree of me expected to be entertained, and the rest of me was just disappointed.
Yeah, I've got a Kabbalah book that's like that. I mean, it's a lot of information,
but that's it.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, it's like, what else could they give you other than opinion? Here's what we know, quote unquote.
I really wanted to read this book too, so it was just like all the irony compounded into like 180 pages, and I got 60 into it. I was just like, I don't know about this. Closed it, pushed it across the table, both hands.
It just sits right there, like gathering dust
on my bookshelf. 2 cubes away from the glow stuff. Yep. With my chameleon pens. Goodness. I swear it's a good book. It's just me that's the problem.
I've had to wrestle with that realization here lately because I've had trouble reading. I've got American Gods in there, and I get a whole foot into it, and I'm just, for some reason, fade out. It's good. I like it. It's hard for me to keep up reading right now. I don't know why. I've always loved reading. It's just...
I find myself tracing the words on the page, and I'm just like, I'm just looking at these. Somewhere I stopped reading.
Yeah.
I don't remember when.
Yeah, it'll be 3 or 4 pages ago, and I'm like...
I'm just looking at words.
Just scanning them. Who is this character? Oh, you've been talking about him for 5 pages. I didn't even know. Yeah.
I hate that. It really bugs me, because I'll just be like, into something, and then I'm just like, flip back 2 pages. And just utterly disappointed myself.
Yep. We need, what's his name back? LeVar Burton.
Yes, please.
Rainbow.
Yes, please. Can he actually host Jeopardy? He needs to host Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that would be a good one.
I need that in my life.
Who's doing it now?
I have no idea. Last I heard, it was Sanjay Gupta.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, right. Big ups.
All right. Well, it's very interesting. It's not.
I don't know. I haven't watched Jeopardy in a while.
Me neither. I think I watched it on Netflix last.
It's on Netflix?
It was on Netflix.
Oh,
yeah.
well.
Yeah. And I feel like they put all the seasons on after Trebek,
All of them?
passed. Yeah. I mean, if they're going to watch one season, of course they'll watch all the rest of them. So might as well put them all on there.
I need me like a crispy 1986 episode.
When Trebek had like the little fro, it was kind of a little fro.
I need that in my life.
Nice, yeah.
I need it.
The good old days.
I know, man.
I say that
When
like I was
trivia
here
TV,
in 1986.
when trivia TV was wholesome.
I mean, if we're going to do that, we're going back to the match game.
Wholesome?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
$25,000 pyramid.
Oh, yeah.
Wholesome.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So heart-wrenching.
Bottom of the list, Newlyweds Game.
All the other iterations of the Newlywed Game. No.
Wholesome, just not family friendly.
I feel like I always hated that show because they replaced sex with whoopee.
You know what?
Oh, I hate that.
I agree.
Whoopee.
It's like,
When's the last time y'all made whoopee? Like nobody knows what you're talking about.
I was like, it's like you're in on the joke, but you forgot that it was a joke. Like, oh yeah, we're talking about sex.
Oh yeah.
But no, this is what you got to do to get natural topics on network television. It's like, hey, yeah, don't say that word. Well, what the hell are we supposed to say? I don't give a shit. Say whoopee for all I care. Next week's episode, when'd you make whoopee?
Yeah, when's the last time y'all made whoopee? Whoopee.
Yeah, see, that's censorship. If we're gonna be right down to it.
I mean, in some sense, that's like the what was that called? The
You got this, buddy. Come on, guy.
I say easy speak, but that's not it. The was it 1984? That book, I can't remember what it was called. It was the language where you couldn't criticize your government. Like those words didn't exist in the language, and I can't remember what it's called now. It's like the dystopian novel, and I can't. Oh man, that makes me mad. Anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna dwell on that.
Yeah, we can move on.
That'll be one of those things. I'll be at work like 3:00 in the morning and be like, that's what it was. Like,
You'll just have to tell me.
We'll edit it in.
Shoot me a message. I don't do no post production on this shit.
All of a sudden, you hear me come up and like, speak easy, like whatever the term is. Like,
sometimes I put an intro and outro on this thing and post. That's really about it. I swear to my listeners that I try to bring them the most honest form of conversation that I can muster, so I don't edit a damn thing.
He did that with both his pointing finger and middle finger up in the air like a Boy Scout.
And then I crossed my heart.
He was standing on a Bible, too.
If you could have seen the look on my face, you would understand. As I stare vaguely
totally
up into the right in a stoic manner. Keep an even killed tone.
Fade in the American flag behind you.
Oh, God.
Flapping.
Red-tailed hawk eagle noise. Because,
but it's not the real noise. It's
that's
me doing it, yeah.
even better.
We can't afford the real noise.
I don't have the license for that noise. It's not on the soundboard. You know what? I should put it on the soundboard.
You should.
Because I've got all kinds of other silly things. I need the red-tailed hawk fake eagle noise.
Yes. You never know when you're going to need that.
You're right. Or I should get the just actual bald eagle noise. Because it sounds not majestic at all. Mm-mm. They sound like a big old doofus. Mm-hmm. I love it.
It's different because we heard we were out on the Clinch River one day and heard an osprey or an eagle. It's probably an osprey because that's what we see a lot of up there. But it was just going crazy. I mean, just like it was a car alarm as we floated down the river and just like he's
all
mad.
right.
Like, he is
what's
mad.
Up, dude?
Yeah, yeah. You need that on there. Yeah,
I should get that.
Oh yeah.
All right, man. So the last question I usually ask on the podcast is: are there anyone you'd recommend? Anybody you'd like to see or hear come on the show? Who would that be? I'm going to throw one out at you because I think we both would enjoy this one. But
okay.
you think You think Cornbread would come out of hiding
yeah.
to talk on my microphone?
That would be a good one. You get a lot of good stories with that one, I'm sure.
I want a third person with Cornbread. Like I want to do a 3-person conversation.
I'm totally not against it.
I think that would be the best way to handle Cornbread.
Yeah, because me and him, like I felt like we had a really good conversation about dioxin that last time. Because I don't think he thought anybody else would know what it was. I was like, I know what you're talking about.
Like, hey, we can talk.
Keep running. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I'm not against that. But yeah, that would be a really good conversation. And I mean, you already had Dan on here. You know, that was the first one that popped into my brain.
Well, I want to get Dan and Preston on here individually at some point. Mm-hmm. But that was a fun.
That was a good.
That was a fun conversation.
Yeah. Especially the timing of it, because I hadn't been able to hang out with any of y'all, so it was good. Kind of. I got to hang out with these guys for a minute.
Fly on the wall in this conversation.
Yeah. Don't mind me, guys. I'm just over here in a K-hole. Just listening to your conversations over here. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head. I mean, no, I do know exactly who you need to talk to.
Who's that?
Wesley David Terrigan.
Oh, my God.
Because the fact that man won't just paint for fun, but will paint when you pay him, I need to hear these stories. Like, why? What is this? Like, why do you do this?
Yeah, Mr. Professional Artist chooses to never do anything ever again.
I love that guy. He's so good.
I'm curious if I could get him in front of the microphone for that kind of conversation. I don't
just go over there and hide them. I mean, he's gonna talk.
You're right. Oh goodness! And then suddenly a frisbee will appear and everything will get better.
Yep, everything changes. Yep, just like whoa.
That's when you sink a little deeper into your chair. Yeah, I would like to get him on the show.
And Denny would be another good one.
Denny would be a good one.
Denny would be really good. Yeah. And then, do you know Rain?
I've met Rain, but I don't know him.
I don't know him well enough that I could reach out and talk to him. But that's somebody you could probably get Wes to poke.
Yeah,
because he's him being in the Native American community and stuff. That would be it would be a different facet that I don't think you're able to get to. Yeah, art wise,
that would be something really unique. I've also talked to old Mr. Ill about being on here, and we're going to do it at some point. Okay. He's up for it.
Very nice.
Yeah, he's excited about it. Just him and his whole new family situation it takes some adjustment. So I'm giving him. I'm not riding his ass.
I'm sure he's fully stoked too, because they've got that whole. They're opening for one of the Wu-Tang members.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's going to be awesome, man.
Yeah,
I know he really likes those guys. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he's quite pleased with what he's getting done right now.
Oh, yeah. Doing work.
Mm-hmm. Good old Mr. Real.
I don't think the man ever stops working.
No. He goes to sleep
when he's
working.
having fun, he's working.
Yeah, he goes to sleep working.
Yep.
He's a very entrepreneurial, creative person.
Yep.
Yeah. Go him.
Oh, yeah. It's very inspiring.
For sure. So, anybody else on that list?
Can't really think of anybody else, man. I feel like that was a lot of people.
Yeah, we did cover some bases. I'm putting you on the spot asking that question the second time. All right, man. I'm going to play us out. Everybody, thanks for listening.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
That was the show. I hope you enjoyed. All the relevant social media and website links will be in the episode description for the featured artist today. And if you yourself or know an artist that you would like to be or see on the platform, shoot me an email. It'll be listed somewhere on here. I'll try to make it plainly evident for you. But thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time.